Welcome to Impact Masters Podcast in collaboration with Africa's Talking Retold Podcast, where every conversation sparks new insights. Join us as we delve into the stories of extraordinary individuals who are shaping our world. Movers and shakers in tech, policymakers, entrepreneurs, entertainers, and all those whose stories are worth telling. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and transformed. Welcome, and let's embark on this journey of discovery together. Impact Masters Podcast. You can check us out on all social media platforms. You can also find us across all podcast channels. Simply search for Impact Masters, then subscribe, follow, and share. www.impactmasters.io. Here's your host, Michael Kamathi.
All right. Thank you so much. It's another beautiful day. And we are graced by one and only an amazing guest today. I'm not sure you're ready. This is in collaboration with Africa's Talking and Impact Masters Podcast. And this series is about celebrating Africa's Talking 14 years of operation across Africa. Africa's Talking is a communication API platform providing solutions for developers as well as businesses who wants to scale their communication using 2G technology and now 3G offering. We offer voice solution, SMS, USSD, mobile data, and airtime. And today, actually, the guest will tell us more about mobile data and airtime. We also used to offer IoT APIs for developers. He was also part of that team. He will tell us a bit about that. We used to offer payment APIs. If you'll be able to talk briefly about that, that would also be great. And just checking out where we've come from to where we're going in this journey of ensuring that we're empowering developers across Africa. The guest today is an amazing guest. He's passionate about new tech. He has over 10 plus years experience with a focus in IoT and GIS. He has led projects, teams working innovative IoT and GIS solutions, successfully implementing solutions across Africa. And is also excited about IoT projects, which is involved serving various sectors, specifically in agri-tech, with the preference of horticulture, water sector, logistics, transport and warehousing, asset tracking, property management, smart homes, security, and also is a specialist in business growth and strategy, team management, customer relationship management, mentoring, name it. He has it all. And not to say he's an Alliance High School alumni. It's just another statement because he's currently the chairman of the Alumni Association. Of course, of recent, Alliance has done a couple of good and bad things at the same measure. I hope you'll be humble enough and kind to delve into how can we resolve the quagmire that we are facing with Gen Zs. If you listen to this in 2100, in 2024, Gen Zs said, we are not taking this anymore. The government ought to do more. And they went on the street, occupied parliament. As we speak right now, they're occupying Ministry of Health. They're just trying to change the corruption aura in the ecosystem, ensuring that they are holding the leaders accountable. And some of the notable Alliance alumni are taking charge, both in government and both in the civilian side of things, which is a good thing. And, if we fix this, then it means good things for this country and Africa at large. So we support the Reject movement and Occupy as Impact Masters Podcast and as Africa's Talking Retold Podcast. So the guest is one and only Luchiri Omoto, who is currently the commercial growth in AT and is in charge of Airtime and mobile data.
Yes.
And but his background will start all the way from where Luchiri started. And then we'll come up to where he is right now and the plans he has for the product and, the challenges that we have faced. We'll share all of them, the learnings, the growth, so that if a company listens to this in the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, they can be able actually to learn from our lessons as Africa is talking, as we celebrate the growth that we have experienced and the empowerment that you have created across Africa. How are you, Luchiri Omoto?
Fine, thank you.
Do you prefer Luchiri or Omoto? There's another one?
Luchiri is my name.
Luchiri is your name.
Omoto is the surname.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, Luchiri.
Yes.
This has been forthcoming for a while. And thank you so much, by the way, for making time. I don't take this for granted.
My pleasure.
Because for me and a couple of people in the room, we are dedicated to telling our story. Because Africans sometimes we are a bit shy. When you look at ourselves, we're like, we're not enough. What is there to tell? We have not even made it. But these stories actually builds some momentum for startup, for other individuals, for our children and children's children to be able to see actually this is the journey that happened, and if there are any mistakes made, they can learn from them and grow to build a better ecosystem. Yep. So thank you so much and welcome.
Asante
welcome.
Happy to do this.
Yes. So where did the Luchiri start? And actually in between there, I'll mention some significant people who are related to you, if you allow me, because I also surprised because of your name, actually.
Okay.
I'm surprised. You're related. That's very nice. Yeah. So Luchiri, where did you all start? Like, where are you born and raised?
Yes. The Gen Zs mentioned something that caught me off guard. They say we were born in the 1900s. Those of us who were born in the 1900s, if you say 1900s, to us it's the picture of 1901 to somewhere 1920. Yeah. Those are the 1900s. But I have nieces and nephews who say guys born in the 1900s. Yeah. So I feel like 100 years old. But born almost 42 years ago. Oh. 1982.
Yes.
In Kakamega.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kakamega, which side? Is it a municipality
actually, the town.
The town.
I think I'm a product of the Kakamega hospital. It's a district hospital.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Fond memories from there, earliest memories, of course. We were there for about, or rather, I was there for about 4 years or so, because then my dad quit the civil service. He was a teacher.
Okay. Primary or secondary?
Primary.
Okay.
Lately, over the last few years, he's now retired. He's old. He's 85.
Okay.
We've been asking him what inspired him to make that change.
Yeah.
And I guess it's called a bold step.
Yes.
Moving during those days from a job that you are guaranteed pension and teachers who are well respected. He was a headmaster. Decided to jump into the NGO world, not even NGO. He joined the YMCA.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Christian organization.
Yeah.
They are all over the world and also in Kenya. And he had started off in Busia, then we moved to Thika. So actually, Kakamega, I have young fond memories.
Okay.
But I'd say I've grown up in Thika.
In Thika. Yes. Thika Township.
Yes.
Yes. And by the way, meaning that if you're born in 1982 and you spend most of the time in Thika, then you have seen actually it become almost a city. And then it has stalled because the plan was, so I know, that the industrial was supposed to be along Mombasa Road and Thika. Those were supposed to be industrial towns that serves Nairobi and does the export.
Yeah.
But things have stalled a bit in Thika town.
Yeah, I don't think it's anymore the industrial town that it used to be. Because I think somewhere down the line in the 90s, they started collapsing. I remember going into Thika, there were very many factories or industries.
Yes.
From clothing to vehicle manufacturing, food processing. Kenya Canas was there, then called Kenya Canas, Del Monte. We had several clothing factories.
Yes.
Thika Textile, and a few others I forget.
Yeah.
It was actually indeed
Yeah.
an industrial town.
Yes.
What used to be called Leyland, Kenya Vehicle Manufacturers.
Yeah.
There was Metal Box. Goodness, we were even doing metal and exporting.
Yeah.
So, Thika was actually... and Broadway's. I'm sure some Kenyans ate...
Broadway's...
Broadway's Ken
bakeries.
Blessed. Yes.
They are in
Broadway's Ken Blessed, they were all in Thika. So actually, it's true. You're taking me way back. Thika was an industrial
No,
town.
Broadway is still there. One of those breads that, Jose's love.
Grew up buying their bread.
Yeah. And it's quite a fond memory to imagine Broadway still supplies the bread.
Oh yeah. Sadly, I don't see it anymore.
No, it is there. Yeah, Broadway. And it's considered sugar, a bit sugar-free or something.
Yes, the taste is different. I think the others started putting sugar in there.
Yeah.
But so Thika was quite an industry.
So when did you relocate? At which class were you when you relocated?
When we moved in, actually my entire schooling life was in Thika.
In Thika.
Because I think we moved there... I moved there in 87. 86.
Okay.
Perhaps, if not earlier. But I know I started my my nursery school there.
Yes.
My nursery school was just within the compound.
Oh, nice.
The YMCA in Thika is a college.
Okay.
It was a technical college.
So it's fully fledged in terms of education and all?
Yes. No, we only had a nursery and then the tertiary. Masonry, carpentry. That's what they used to offer. And my dad was the manager there. My mom was housewife. So I started nursery school there. So it was probably called Thika YMCA nursery school. I don't remember the name of the one.
But
I'd guess
Kaka,
that
back in the day, someone would just start a nursery, which nowadays they call it daycare. But then it was recognized.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Things
there's
have
kindergarten.
changed. There's kindergarten, there's pre-unit, there's...
PP1, PP2.
I went to nursery, that's it.
I
went to nursery, I spent almost 3 years there and that was it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I still studied my primary school in Thika. This is a school called General Cargo.
General Cargo is so popular.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my goodness, happy to hear that.
I knew it before I knew Thika.
Studied at General Cargo from standard 1 all the way to class 8.
Yeah.
And then...
How was that like? Anything something to remember?
No, it was a good experience.
Yeah.
It was, anything to remember that time. I remember when we were looking for a school for my son. Now, this is later now.
Yeah.
In the 2016 or thereabout. And we are scouting for schools in the Kilimani, Lavington area. And I visit these so-called private schools. And I'm looking at the school fees and I'm telling myself, I'm paying all this much for the same facility or even worse than how I grew up, the public school I went into.
Yeah.
Because I could compare the buildings. The field is not even comparable. We used to have a field where 5 teams could play football. The girls could play kati and banye and volleyball.
And still there's some space for the cheerers to hang out.
Because you can imagine 8 classes from class 1 to 8 and streams of 3.
That's a lot of people.
And break time was for everybody between, I think, was it 10 or 10:35 to 11?
Yeah.
And we all used to fit somehow outside.
Yeah.
So then public schools then were quite something. They were good.
Yeah.
Here I am being told to pay an arm and a leg. And I'm looking at the facilities.
It's just apartments.
Yes.
Converted into classes.
Public schools then, the facilities were just as good as what I'm being told now is a private school.
Yeah.
And I cannot. And it is these talented, nice private schools.
Yeah.
So I keep telling my wife and friends, middle class is all about massaging egos.
Yeah.
It's a fraud. We pay more to be massaged than
no value
for quality.
No
for
much
the
value.
Sad to say, that's where we are.
Yeah.
So 8 years in General Cargo Primary School. We go to high school. Now, I think when I was there, I had older siblings. So, and my brother, who I looked up to then, went to Thika High.
Yeah.
Now, Thika High, from where we used to live, was probably not more than 2 kilometers walk. And he would come home during the holidays and give us stories about Thika High and whatnot. So I'd made up my mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure Thika High people will be happy to hear.
This is where I'm going for my high school.
This guy said at least he admired going to Thika High.
Yeah.
So, my bro, who's now, when you are young and you have an older brother,
You look up to.
oh, yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Thika High.
Yeah.
So even when we used to feel those things, I don't know which world I used to live in. Because I don't remember ever hearing, okay, you hear Alliance and whatnot, and you're like, okay.
This is the place I want to go.
No. It wasn't for me. It was, there are people who go there. Then there's Mangu when I'm driving. When I went to Thika, there were buses called Jogokemaki.
Before the current one. The current one.
Yes. Now they have
before Kenyampia. Yeah.
No, before Kenyampia, there used to be Jogokemakias. That's what we used to. So you pass somewhere just before Wetedi or the town and you see a
Mangu
plane.
School, yeah.
Yes. So I knew there's Mangu. Those guys have aviation. There's a plane there.
Yeah.
Somebody said they are content flying on the ground. And they have been for the longest time.
Was that
So
an
I used
Alliance joke or
It came from one of us, but I don't know if it's an Alliance joke. But it's the fact.
for Mangu guys?
The aviation, the plane was always there,
Yeah.
constantly.
The banter is real. I wish Teddy was here. Teddy is fond of. He's a Lenana. He's a Lenana graduate, but he's also so familiar with Mangu.
The rivalry is there.
They're always there.
The sports.
Yeah.
We will get to it.
Yeah.
So I knew there were those schools, but probably they are not for me. There are people who go there.
Yeah.
But then my brother is at Thika High.
Yeah.
And the stories I hear. So I'd signed. It was rather clear. That's where I'm going. So even my dad knew. Because now he would know the principal, the headmaster then at Thika High. Your neighbors. The son is there. It was like a done deal.
Okay.
And then I think now from my primary school, for the very first time, I think when I was in class 6, somebody went to Alliance.
From that school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then when I was in class 7, I think somebody went. My sister went to Alliance Girls. She's almost 4 years older than me. But still it hadn't clicked that this is something that can happen. So we go feeling that thing, and I'm like, I think the choices were done for me, the national schools.
Yeah.
So I knew it's Thika High. Those days we used to feel like 2 or 3. Thika High, Nyeri High. I don't know if I put Kiambu High. Ukuju, Starehe is like, I have to fill forms and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I put Alliance, Mangu, Starehe maybe.
Yeah. But it's just like a by the way, but it's not
Yes,
that serious.
I knew Thika High. It's
Yeah.
across the road. If anything happens, I run home. That sort of thing. Until we go to get our living certificates and whatnot.
This is after now
even
class
before,
8.
Yeah, this is even before results are out. And one of my teachers used to be a lovely teacher called Mrs. Chepkwonyi. Looks at me and says, because we are with my dad,
Yeah.
says, Uyu ataenda Alliance. I'm like, what is Alliance?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And true to it, results come,
Yeah.
and
You have the grades.
I didn't even know if I have the grades.
Yeah.
I got good marks.
But before that, were you not a performer or?
I was.
Yeah.
That one I was.
You know what is funny, Luchiri? Everyone who comes here who has gone to the national schools, it's not like it was a big deal. or it's something they worked really hard towards. But it shows from maybe even class 3, like this one always aces it. So it's fascinating to me to see how unprepared, or maybe, I don't know what to call it, but how unprepared most of the guests who went to these schools are. Like, it just came. I was lucky. I was one of those guys. And I was invited. So I went there.
No, there are some who are actually prepared. Yeah. I know a few year mates who say, I prepared. Yes, you're yet to host one.
Yeah.
And I think most of them prepare. Some of us are like...
You're humble.
We are here. So, results come and the invitation letter says...
Yeah.
It comes, you have been... to Alliance High School.
Yeah.
What I remember about that letter is the food part. Mm-hmm. I got the feeling it says the food here is just enough to keep your brain working. Mm-hmm. Anything else, forget about. And that was true. But then the most excited person is my dad. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what's the big deal? Because when that letter came, I think for like a whole week, he would go everywhere with me.
Yani, this is my guy.
This is my guy. It's like, we go to the shopkeeper, somebody I've known for almost 15 years.
This guy is going to Alliance.
He's going to Alliance.
Yes.
Mr. Karaoke, our shopkeeper for years. Why do we have to tell him this guy is going to Alliance? Any other person who comes, he's going to Alliance.
Yes.
Including his older brother in Shags.
Yes. The boy has been called to Alliance.
He's going to Alliance. And then I'm like, what's with this Alliance? He drops me at the school. Then he starts mentioning names. Peter Anyang Nyong'o was here. Amos Wako was here. I'm still clueless.
Who are these guys?
Yes, who are these guys? Yeah. Now, I mentioned that because the most interesting thing is one day during COVID, he had just recovered, stayed with us for like 3 months. So I'm flying him home. We are at Wilson. And guess who's there? Peter Anyang Nyong'o. And I'm the one now introducing my old man to this person he kept telling me about. I'm like, how life turns out. To him, these are people he used to hear.
Yes, and admire.
Yes. Yeah. If you mention Amos Wako, he's like, during our time, because I think they are age mates.
Yeah.
They used to get D's who are good then, because there are distinctions.
Yeah.
Amos Wako got 6 D's. I was like,
distinctions.
Okay. Yes. And he was top brain. Nowadays, I'm the one introducing him to these people. The people used to tell me about how introducing him.
Yeah.
So, there's that twist in life. And
very nice, yeah.
So, Alliance High School, very interesting.
Was the food enough to keep the brain
working? The food was just enough for the brain. Anything else, you have to live on bread.
From the canteen or provided by the school?
No, provided by the school.
So what kind of food did they serve there?
Wait, not that I'm getting old. I could actually tell you the menu from Monday to Sunday. But
it was different for different days?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I know the worst was when we were getting ugali and cabbage. And if you are a Form 1, lucky enough to get your piece of meat in there.
Oh, the big boys have to eat well.
The big boys have to, we call it fishing. They have to...
Look for because they go there fast, they pick fast.
Or even if they don't go fast.
They'll come and...
They'll just come when you are seated.
Wonder you're from...
So what used to happen, the table leaders, as we used to call them, because students still used to serve. For the big boys, you put at least 3 pieces of meat. For a Form 1, you get 1. After everybody else has gotten everything.
And it might be a bone.
No. Why would you even get the bone?
So this time monolization was just polite. But you'd feel...
So you get your 1 piece. But even that 1 piece, you're not guaranteed because Form 3, they were notorious. Or Form 2s. Form 4s never used to bother. They are now settled serious.
Like these are just...
Yes. They expect their 5 pieces. So a Form 3 or Form 2 will just come, go through your food.
You called it fishing.
Yes, it's called fishing. That's it. So there used to be days of ugali and A Sunday was the best because at least we would get a sausage or an egg.
That's for breakfast.
Yes, and uji.
Yeah.
The rest of the days, the tea, I remember the cup was small, the tumbler.
Yeah.
Very small.
Yeah.
And of course, Form 2s used to do the serving. They would fill the Form 4s cups first, then the Form 3s, and then Form 2s, and then Form 1s last.
And how will they know this is a Form 2 cup, this is a Form 1, this is a Form 3? Were they marked or?
It was very well organized. First of all, we are organized in houses. So back then we had 8 houses, and the houses are now categorized into dorms. So in my house, Agri, there was dorm 5, 6, 7, and 8. And each dorm has a Form 4, has a Form 3s, has like 5 Form 4s, 5 Form 3s, so on and so forth. So even in the dining hall, that's the order in which you sit on. You know, that side of the dining hall is Agri, and then Agri dorm 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where they sit. And then, of course, on that table, Form 4s will sit at the most comfortable place at the very end. So if you're a table leader, you serve the 5 or 4 cups, you push them aside. Form 1s, for convenience, because you'll be the one being sent, get spoons, get salt, go buy me mandazis. So you sit right at the edge. Now, we were on the pouring tea thing. So after they serve the Form 4s, Form 3s, Form 2s, those guys are assured their tea is tea. Form 1s, you might get half, what is it called? Majani.
The sieved tea
Yes,
leaves.
the tea leaves. And then a quarter is tea. Drinking, thinking the whole thing is tea. By the time you are halfway through, the rest is tea leaves. Anyway, it was a good experience.
Yeah. And was there monolization there of sort or?
Let's be honest. There's always some sort of monolization, as we call it. There was, but not the
violent
type. Not violent.
Yeah.
Violent was actually
More intellectual.
Yeah, you can put it that way.
Yeah, and at Alliance, you also meet some, guys from all over.
Yes,
both
that's the beauty.
Less privileged.
Yes,
and
that's the beauty, and it is from a land that I learned. When you're growing up, you tend to be told, "Oh, rich guys are not smart," or poor guys always work harder; they are smarter. And you arrive at Alliance and you find a guy being dropped in a Beamer and he's
really
scoring
good.
his A's.
Yeah.
And a guy who doesn't even go home during holidays and he's scoring his A's.
Yeah.
And an average guy from a middle-class family like me, and I'm doing averagely.
Yeah.
So it was all a mix-up. So that's when I realized, you cannot stereotype. You cannot say, this is like this and this is like that.
Intelligence is equally distributed.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So you get to Form 3.
I get to Form 3. What about Form 3?
No, I mean, by then you are settled. You said, Form 3 and Form 4s.
No, when
they
you're
have done
Form
it
2,
all.
Yeah.
Now
When
you
you're Form
focus.
2, you are the naughty types. When you're Form 1, you're given a guardian, call it. A Form 2 to help you. We used to have something called tie test. And I think I should bring this one up because it really helps demystify why we always talk about Alliance High School even after we have left.
Yeah.
It is because of that tradition. It is almost like an unwritten constitution. For you to get your tie, you have to sit for a tie test.
What's that?
And the tie test is a book written by your guardian telling you about the history of the school.